Okay, so a couple days ago, I posted a video about the importance of showing up on my Instagram page, actually on IGTV. And I was blown away by the feedback, the overwhelmingly positive feedback I received. So, some 30,000 views later and 421 comments later, I asked myself, why didn't I put this on YouTube again? In any event, to facilitate the persons who are not on Instagram, I actually uploaded the video not too long ago on YouTube. Just in case you didn't see it, you'd have an idea or you can make reference to what I'm going to speak about right now. So I did that video, I walked away, got a lot of comments. And in the video, particularly, what I said was, hey, opportunity is everywhere, and sometimes it is by you showing up that you are able to seize a moment and to seize an opportunity. I said it doesn't matter if people at work think that you're extra, if they think you're hype, you show up in any event, because you might be showing up just for yourself. You might be showing up because maybe you are dressing for the job that you want in the future. Maybe you are showing up because, hey, if anybody calls on you right now to have a job interview, you don't have to book shuffle, you don't have to get confused, you don't have to run for go a shop or a store or a boutique, because you're already put together, because you're all about the art of showing up. What was amazing was that the comments that I got, there was a common theme. And there were some people who shared it on my wall and some people who shared it in my direct messages. And it was that some of them used to show up and they stopped because of the opinions of people, because of what people said and how they made them feel. There are some people who said, well, they still show up, but they don't show up confidently, but rather consciously, because again, of what people think or what they say. Oh, she go on like she better than me. Him going like him hype. Them extra E, why them have to go so hard? We know we can almost hear those comments because we've either made them or we've heard people project it on other people. So this is like the importance of showing up, second edition. I am going to address that, because when people started saying that, the first person I thought about was my best friend Garfield Grandison. And if you guys know Garfield, you know that he is always well dressed. He is always showing up. He is showing out. He is showing off. And it doesn't matter the why. The why is that because he wants to. He likes looking good. He likes feeling good. He likes wearing suits and bow ties or pocket squares or lapel pins. That is what he is all about. And I remember in various workspaces that he has been in, I remember that a lot of people used to question why I'm Officer Extra. Hell, people probably still questioning that right now. Why you have so high? Why, dog? If you want to wear a t-shirt and jeans and flip-flops to the people in them work, what does that have to do with another man? You can do one of two things, boo. Either you can be confident in the t-shirt and jeans and flip-flops that you wear to the people in job, workplace, or you can look on another man who have a particular style, and if you really admire the style, and you said, Jano style, the man you can always bush it up, we need to really find out who do him treads, go to him and say, dog, where you get your things from? And if a man come back and say, yo, a Carlton Brown, and you know say you can't afford a Carlton Brown, ask the man, yo, is there any other place that I can check that is of a lower budget? No, we not do them someday. Instead, we sit down in our corners and we try to find fault and criticize, and we project our insecurities on somebody else. Garfield had one of two choices. He could either start dressing down to suit the opinions of other people or to make them more comfortable around him, or he could show up every single day in the manner in which he was accustomed to. You guys know Garfield, so you know what he did. So what I am here to talk about is the art of showing up and caring zero about what other people think about your showing up. I find it amazing that we would give power to people who don't know the difference from them elbow and their ass. I find it amazing that people who get up knowing what they're about, putting themselves together, stepping out in style, would start to downgrade, downsize, and downplay their art of showing up to suit somebody else. Like, what? What are you talking about? When I have a black tie event to go to, a gala to go to, I am putting on my uzuri gown, my chandelier earrings. I'm getting my face done. I am wearing my heels. And best believe I am not going to downgrade, downsize, or downplay my art of showing up to suit the opinion of somebody who probably thinks that a maxi dress and a Bridget sandals is the order of the day. I said what I said. And King, if you are somebody who likes to put on a blazer and a bow tie, or a blazer, suspenders, and a bow tie and go to work, are you going to downsize, downgrade, and downplay your art of showing up to suit the opinions of somebody who probably don't know the difference between a lapel pin and a pocket square? How? Their goals, dreams, outlook, perspective, blueprint is not yours. So if they want to dress how they want to dress in their space, that has absolutely nothing to do with you. That is not your problem. Their insecurities and opinions are not your problem when it comes to your art of showing up. Lions do not lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. They eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they leave the scraps for the hyenas. Why would you give power to people who have no say? Why? I don't get it. Giving power to people who probably do not even observe or acknowledge or understand dress code. Why would you give them that power? And guess what? You don't owe anybody any explanations. If you want to get up and show up just because, so be it. Who vex? You do not owe anybody any explanation for the why you show up. But understand that opportunities are there, and when you show up and when you are known for always putting yourself together and always being presentable, that counts for something. Their issue with you showing up is not your problem. It is theirs. And I want you to stand up and step out in your greatness based on what you want for yourself. This don't have nothing to do with anybody else. And if you allow yourself to truly downgrade and downsize and downplay and dumb down so other people can feel better, who is really the crazy person here? It's not them, it's you. People are always going to project on you, and you have to know who you are, and you have to know where you depend, where you are going, and why you do what you do. I have a story that I always share with people, especially when I am the keynote for like high schoolers and college graduates or graduation. This is a story that I always speak about, and I call it Mr. Bowtie Guy. I was the keynote speaker at the Florida Caribbean Students Association last year in Daytona Beach, Florida. I was the keynote speaker on the Friday, and then on the Saturday, I co-hosted with Marlon Hill for their town hall meeting. Watch the ride. The night before, the Friday night, they had a party, whatever, so we were all waiting for students to file into the auditorium on the Saturday. There was a youngster who came in a suit, bow tie, well-groomed, good-looking fellow. These are all, by the way, these are all students who are college. They're in college, and they're all descendants of Caribbean parents. So it was a nice mixture. We even had some Africans, we had some Latinos who had some mixture with some Caribbean descendants. Fine. Guy steps in, and I'm like, oh, wow, stood out. And I didn't get a chance to really say anything to him as he was walking up the stairs because I was speaking to another king who was very impressive. He was studying astronuclear physics or something. And I was like, he was blowing my mind. All I know is that I broke our conversation for a second and I asked the young lady who was filing up behind the guy in the bow tie, and I was like, what school is that? Because they all stayed together in their clusters, and she told me, and I was like, all right, cool. Everybody gets seated. We're talking about over 350 students, right? So I'm doing my housekeeping matters. I'm bigging up the students who have come to the town hall on time because that is important. And I have to big up and acknowledge the students who, despite staying out late last night, came in early. Because in the real world, even if you got a party, you have to show up at work early. And then I said, there is a guy in here in a bow tie. Where is he? I sweep this big auditorium left and right, and I couldn't find him. I asked again. No movement, nobody stands, no hand goes up. Someone said, guy, bow tie from X school, because I remember what the girl had told me. I see a hand go up, meek, and then he stood up. And when he stood up, he didn't have on his bow tie. So I opened up my arms like, Mr. Bowtie guy, you're not wearing your tie. And he said, I'm so sorry. He said, but it was it was squeezing my neck. I wanted to tell him something right then and there. And then the Holy Spirit just come over me. You guys know, say me and the Holy Spirit are bosom buddy, right? You know, say me listen, I'm obedient. Because the Holy Spirit is not one of embarrassment. And there's one thing that I never seek to do, and that is to embarrass people. So I told him, no problem, I understand. And I told him to sit down, and we proceeded with our town hall meeting. For the whole day, I was talking to my best friend, Melissa, who lives in Florida, and she came up to be with me. I was like, yo, Trini, that situation hurt my heart, boy. I said, I can't believe it. Oh my goodness, that boy was on my mind for the entire day. But I would have my moment. In the night, we had a black tie gala, which was the culmination of this leadership conference. And during the break, the students went to the buffet area to get their food. He came up to me and he said, hi, ma'am. Very polite guy, eh? And I was like, hey, how you doing? And he said, you know, I am so-and-so. I said, I remember you. I said, I remember you from the town hall meeting. You're Mr. Bowtie guy. And he laughed and he held down his head, you know. And he said, I came across here to apologize to you because when you called upon me, you know, I didn't have on my bow tie. And I said, King, first of all, I said, don't apologize to me. I said, apologize to yourself. And I said, let me tell you why I'm telling you to apologize to yourself. I said, because you did not take off your bow tie because it was squeezing you. You took off your bow tie because when you walked into this auditorium and you looked at the 300 max students who were in there, everyone was average. Everyone was normal. Everyone was basic. And what you decided to do was you decided to feel conscious about your bow tie and your suit and how well groomed you were and how you showed up. And instead of standing out and standing in your greatness, what you decided to do was to blend in, to fit in, to be basic like everybody else. And I said, and then what happened? Opportunity knocked. I saw you because you stood out. You impressed me. And I called you up and I asked you to stand. And you weren't ready. I said, this calling out could have been a job opportunity, job interview, a sponsorship, a scholarship. And when I called upon you, you were not ready because you were trying to fit in and be basic instead of showing up. I said, how does that make you feel? And he was like, Mom, you know, you're right. I said, when you put on that bow tie that morning and you came into the auditorium, you felt good. You looked good. And by the time you walked in and looked at everybody else, you compared your greatness to theirs. And instead of standing in yours, you went and you were like everybody else. I said, let me ask you a question. If I had stopped you while you were going up the stairs and I said to you, man, that bow tie is saying, one, you look so handsome. would you have kept on the bow tie? And he said, definitely. He said, I would have. I said, even that is a problem because it means that you are still relying on the validation and the approval of other people. I said, King, if people don't even validate you or approve you, you must be able to validate yourself. You show up regardless. You put yourself and you step out presentable and you put on your bow tie, your suspenders, your suit, and you remain groomed if that is how you want to show up. If people don't get it, so be it. But you must never, ever derobe, downplay, downsize, and degrade and downgrade for somebody else. Are you crazy? So I am saying, don't be Mr. Bowtie guy. Don't, because you will have absolutely no one else to blame for losing an opportunity or missing a very important moment. You'll have nobody to point finger and say, well, you know, so that person did tell me some hype, so I just stop and look how me lose a job. No, you lost that opportunity because you gave the power away to somebody else who didn't even deserve it. Lions do not lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. They eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they leave the scraps for the hyena. Show up. Show up. Regardless of what people think or what they say, show up and just agree. I'm extra, you're basic. We're cool. But don't you dare step away from your greatness, dull your shine, and try to dumb down to please anyone. And that goes from how you think, to how you act, to how you dress. Are you a lion or are you the sheep? You decide.